We talking like a all NBA guy, all-star? I mean, how good do you think Giddey can be?
I would not put a ceiling. I would not put a ceiling on it.
The Mismatch, presented by FanDuel Sportsbook.
Josh Giddey became the youngest in NBA history with back-to-back triple-doubles, 11 points, 10 assists, and 12 rebounds in a losing effort against Chicago on Saturday. And then he turned around and he did it last night in the Garden. He tweeted after the game, "I love the Garden." He ended with 28 points, 12 assists, 11 rebounds in the game. And they end up beating the Knicks 127-123 in overtime. The 19-year-old from Australia, who is having an outstanding rookie year, did this in a game where they snapped the 5-game losing streak, and they were playing without Lou Dort, and they were playing without Shai Gilgeous-Alexander. Unbelievable performance last night on a big stage, and it felt like this was the night that Josh Giddey certainly broke through in terms of attention. Felt like everybody was talking about Giddey in that performance last night. It is always bigger when you do it in the Garden. Everybody knows that. But my God, to have your best performance in the Garden certainly vaulted him more into the NBA consciousness.
He does just all the little things, man. All the little things on the court. I mean, like, it's kind of comical, like just watching the accuracy of his passes off the dribble. It's funny. Like, you just left hand, right hand, like it's right where it needs to be. He had this play, I think it was third quarter last night. It was like a lefty kick out pass to a corner three. And you know how sometimes when Steph makes those kickouts, he'll immediately relocate to behind the 3-point line. Giddey just immediately like sat down the baseline, hands up, ready for a catch and finish. Knicks defense all scrambled up, and he got exactly what he wanted. I mean, like, he just has the ability to see the play after the play, the next moment. His vision. It's not necessarily. I don't ever want to compare anybody to Jokic, but how many players in the NBA are close in terms of vision and accuracy as a playmaker right now? Giddey is up there, man. He really is. And if his scoring can develop, like we saw, Giddey's 3-point shot is very inconsistent, and he needs to get better as a perimeter scorer. But if his perimeter game is working like it was against the Knicks last night, we are going to see a lot more nights like this: 28 points, 12 assists, 11 rebounds. He's going to have a lot more games like that. And with him, like he has already got the passing ability. It's just about, can the scoring become more regular like it was in MSG?
Well, and I came on here after I had seen him in person earlier this year, and I raved about him, and I talked about how, you know, when you see him in person, it's startling how big he is as a guy that operates on the perimeter. He is a big guy. And this guy that was in the backcourt with him last night, another guy, Trey Mann, he had 30
Man's
points.
Been great.
He had 30 in the game. Let me tell you something. I don't always like the way they conduct their business, but this guy can talent evaluate. My God, Presty. I mean, you can go back and the Harden thing was a no-brainer. I'm sorry, the Durant thing was a no-brainer. The drafting of Westbrook wasn't a no-brainer at 4. The drafting of Harden wasn't a no-brainer when they drafted him. And you could go through like Ibaka, and then like even Sabonis, even, he did draft him, at one point. Reggie Jackson, he found, and you could go on and on. This guy, he can evaluate talent. Nobody's 100%, but this guy can really evaluate talent. And I think everybody, when he took Giddey 6th, we were all like, what? And let me tell you this, you redo that draft tomorrow, he ain't lasting until 6. Now, I don't know if that will be right or wrong in the long term, but in terms of what we've seen so far, this guy, as I said after I saw him in person, he has a chance to be very special. Very special.
Yeah, dude. I mean, just look at that OKC roster, man. I mean, like they're not a good team right now, but they have a lot of good talent. I mean, even some of the guys that weren't in last night's game, like Lou Dort. Lou Dort could help any contending team right now. Kenrich Williams coming off their bench last night. He could help any contender right now. They have guys in that roster who have NBA talent today, but more than anything else, like even Aaron Wiggins. Like they just signed Aaron Wiggins to that new deal, getting him in the second round last year with the 55th pick. And Aaron Wiggins is looking like an NBA regular right now. And granted, it's on OKC, but like he looks like an NBA guy. He looks like an NBA guy. Trey Mann. I mean, it's the second spectacular game in a week or so.
I saw somebody jokingly tweet last night that they're going to have to figure out something to be wrong with Josh Giddey because he's too damn good. They're going to have to pull the something's wrong with him. He's got to sit out the rest of the year because otherwise he might just win them games.
I mean, he won that game for them last night, man.
There ain't no way around it. He's too good. He's too good, this Giddey. So he's going to help them win games down the stretch. We might have to find an ailment for him.
Giddey, this last 7 games, shooting 35% from 3. And that's not spectacular numbers here. But if Giddey can shoot 35% for his career, he's going to average like 22 points, 9 rebounds, 8 assists for the rest of, his prime. Like, that's all he's going to do. He doesn't need to be a 38, 39% guy. 35% is enough for him to be like all-star caliber. And I think last night we saw a preview of what could be a lot of his nights as he's only 19. He's only 19. And imagine him at 23, 24, 25 years old. Just, boy. Like, how good do you think Giddey can be, Chris? We talking like a all-NBA guy, all-star? I mean, how good do you think Giddey can be?
I would not put a ceiling. I would not put a ceiling on it at this point. At 19, see what I've seen so far. I wouldn't put. I would not put a ceiling on it in terms of how good he could end up being.
I mean, I think you're going to have a segment of people who are like, it's an overreaction to last night's game. It's really not an overreaction to last night's game. It's kind of, last night's game is more like a culmination of everything we've seen throughout the season. And he's also had other great games like this too,
Anybody can go back to whenever I saw him in person. I he wasn't a part of the first time when I had the opportunity to go see Oklahoma City. That was the 70-something point loss. The second time he was in the lineup and I saw him, and he had a quarter where he was the best player on the floor. Really. He was outstanding in the game that I saw, at the game I was at. And so I came on here and I raved about the kid. And so, yeah, I'm not going to be in the business of putting a ceiling on him. This is not a first time thing. This isn't because he just did it at the Garden last night. When I saw him earlier this year, I came on here and talked to everybody about him. He is really good, and he is startlingly big. He can pass over guards' heads and smooth as hell. So skilled. I love guys that can dribble, pass, shoot, do everything. I mean, this guy is a basketball player, man. A straight basketball player.
His feel, like he makes some like difficult passes just look so natural and easy. It's just his flow playmaking off the dribble is just so smooth. It feels like it's just completely natural to him. That's the way it just feels watching him play. Like there's never any hesitation. It just flows. And having a guy like that, next to a Gilgeous-Alexander, next to a Lou Dort, this is something that they can grow with over the course of time in Oklahoma City. And granted, the team's nowhere close right now. Guys like Giddey give you hope. They really do.